One of the people credited for popularizing succulents and cacti nationwide is Deborah Lee Baldwin. Her garden in the hills north of Escondido is full of the plants she learned to love as a child, growing up on an avocado ranch with a father who loved succulents.
What you don't realize is that you are in the epicenter of all things succulent.
Baldwin says the drought is just reinforcing what has been a growing trend.
So for decades, generations, we've had succulent specialty nurseries here in San Diego, and we've had collectors. But they were kind of the geeks of the plant world.
Baldwin's first book about succulents was published in 2007.
The general public was getting more sophisticated in terms of appreciating foliage over flowers, just as I was in my own garden.
Since then, Baldwin says, interest in succulents has exploded.
When I was researching designing with succulents in 2006, and I Googled the word succulent, I maybe got several 100,000 hits. If you do that now, you will get in the tens of millions.
California nurseries are taking advantage of this trend. David Ross, a buyer for Walter Anderson Nursery, says while sales of many traditional water-thirsty garden plants have fallen, succulent and cacti sales increased 25% in 2013 and another 20% last year.
It is definitely helping our business.
Ross says new and different varieties of succulents are coming all the time, and his cacti and succulent section has expanded.
It keeps creeping forward and taking tables from ground cover and bedding plants. The vegetable sales have stayed fairly steady, but the flowers have dropped a little bit, and then we've taken the whole fence line down to add in some other low water use plants.
Cacti and succulents make up just a small sector of San Diego's $5 billion agricultural economy. But the largest cacti and succulent grower in the United States, and possibly the world, is right here in San Diego's North County.
Ken and Dina, my parents, they started this business about 40 years ago in their backyard. They were avid plant collectors. They really were into cactus and succulents. It was a different kind of plant mix, and over time they got too many of them, and they had to start selling some of them, and that's how the business started, is they just started selling out of their backyard.
Since then, Altman says, the company has seen double-digit growth every year and now has about 1,300 acres, mostly in Southern California, devoted to succulents. Here at Oasis Gardens, north of Escondido, succulent cuttings of all kinds are monitored carefully and watered by hand till they get established.
It's called Portulacaria, and it's a native from Africa. It's actually, the common name is elephant bush, because the elephants love to eat it. But it's pretty indestructible, and it's an amazingly drought-tolerant plant.
Altman Plants started supplying big box stores about 9 years ago, and succulent and cacti sales have been multiplying ever since. The company employs 2 full-time succulent and cacti breeders who travel the world, bring back new varieties, and breed new hybrids with names like Crimson Tide and Neon Breakers that take years to develop.
So this is called Aeonium Mardi Gras. It's a really neat hybrid plant that our breeder, Renee O'Connell, came up with. It's a cross of 2 different aeoniums, and you can see the amazing color there.
Deborah Lee Baldwin says succulents come in every color except cobalt and royal blue.
There are more and more introductions. Plants that collectors were over the moon about and squealed with delight when they saw them are now commonplace. And just like a new invention, maybe in electronics, the price comes down, that's true too of anything that's perceived as rare and collectible. Now we're seeing it become more commonplace and more affordable.
And Baldwin thinks the cutting edge of this trend will be new kinds of cacti, which, though often sharp or spiky, are the most drought-tolerant succulents.
I think people are ready to move past their disdain for cactus.
Baldwin is very excited about a new variety of cactus apple with no spines,
which I call caressable cactus.
She says it not only needs no water, it's also fire-resistant, and she's planting it all along the edge of her garden. Finding land to meet the growing demand for these kind of plants is not easy, Altman says.
We're not finding huge tracts of land to grow cactus and succulents here, for sure. It's definitely a challenge, but there's opportunities here and there.
Altman Plants has expanded its growing operations to Arizona, Colorado, and Texas, but unlike some nurseries, the company has no plans to outsource their unique varieties to other countries where land is cheaper.
I guess hopefully, for many years to come, we can continue to farm here in North County.
San Diego's Flower and Plant Association lists about 45 commercial growers that grow cacti and succulents, and the region is home to some of the most respected specialty succulent growers in the country. At a time when many traditional crops and plants are struggling to survive under new water restrictions, succulents and cacti are not only blooming, but booming. Alison St. John, KPBS News.